Hi everyone, today I'll be introducing School-Based Assessment or SBA under Secondary School Standard Curriculum KSSM. SBA is a continuous assessment system that evaluates students throughout the school year, focusing on both academic and non-academic skills. It provides a more holistic approach compared to the traditional exams. In this video, we will cover the following key topics: key features and objectives of SBA in KSSM, implementation challenges of SBA in language, comparing SBA and traditional language assessment methods, assessing speaking and listening skills in language, and ensuring fairness and reliability in language assessment under SBA. Now, I'll pass it over to the next presenter, who will discuss the key features and objective of SBA in KSSM. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Azreelshah bin Azman. My metric number is 22BE01021. So for today, I want to talk about the key features and objective of SBA in KSSM. So basically, the school-based assessment, which is SBA, in the Malaysian curriculum standard sekolah menengah KSSM focuses on continuous assessment, aiming to provide a holistic evaluation of students' learning and development. So here are some key features and objectives of SBA in KSSM along with examples. So for the key features of SBA in KSSM, so for the number one, which is continuous assessment. SBA is conducted throughout the school year, allowing for continuous monitoring of students' progress. So as example, teacher assess students through regular quizzes, project-based work, and class participant rather than relying solely on end-of-term exams. So for the number two, holistic approach. Emphasize the development of both academic and non-academic skills such as critical thinking, communication, and social skills. As example, assigned project may require students to present findings to their class, developing both scientific understanding and communication skill. So for the number three, variety of assessment methods. Includes formative and summative assessment using diverse methods like quizzes, oral presentation, peer assessment, and practical activities. For as example, for a history lesson, students might create a timeline of event, participate in a debate, and submit a written essay as a part of their overall assessment. Okay, and for the last one, focus on individual students' growth, which is aims to track and support individual learning progress rather than simply ranking students. So as example, a student struggling with mathematics might receive additional exercises and personalized feedback to address their challenges. So we will go through the objective of SBA in KSSM. So for the first one, enhance learning through feedback, which is it provide constructive feedback to students, helping them understand their strengths and areas for their improvement in classes. So as example, after an English essay, a teacher give detailed comments on grammar, structure, and content to guide the student in improving their writing skill. So for the number two, encourage active learning, which is engage students actively in their learning process through interactive assessment. As example, in a biology class, students conduct experiments and record their observation, promoting active learning and practical understanding. So for the number three, which is develop critical and creative thinking skill. This which is this fosters students' ability to analyze, evaluate, and create solutions. As example, in a mathematics project, students are asked to solve a real-world problem using mathematical concept, encouraging critical thinking and creativity for your students. So for the number 4, which is support differentiated learning. Tailor assessment to suit different learning abilities and styles, providing opportunities for every student to be succeed. For example, for a literature study, some students might be assessed through traditional essays, while others might express their understanding through a creative project like a storyboard. And for the last one, which is prepare students for lifelong learning, which is aims to develop skills such as self-reflection, time management, and independent learning, preparing students for future challenges. As example, students keep a journal of their learning progress in a language class, reflecting on new vocabulary learned and challenge faced. All these features and objectives of SBA in KSSM ensure that assessments are more comprehensive and focuses on individual student development, fostering a well-rounded and inclusive approach to learning. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Ridwan Solim bin Zaidi. My metric number is 23BE01053. And now we are going to look at the implementation challenges of school-based assessment or SBA. So, firstly, as we all know that the implementation of school-based assessment or SBA in language education encounters several key challenges that hinders its effectiveness. First off, a lack of support from school heads and insufficient cooperation among the teachers can undermine the process. This is because without a strong leadership and teamwork, resolving a day-to-day issues in implementation SBA become more difficult. Secondly, many teachers feel unprepared due to inadequate knowledge of or even a lack of confidence, which are often as a result of insufficient professional development for opportunities. This leads to inconsistent and ineffective assessment practice in the classroom. Thirdly, the extra workload that we mentioned associated with in SBA is a major concern because as teachers, we are burdened with tasks like recording student performance, like managing their portfolios and data, which consume such a significant time and also effort. Furthermore, resource constraints such as the lack of ICT tools or literally basic materials like paper for assessments create additional hurdles with teachers sometimes having to use their own resources and their own money. Finally, concerns about the fairness and the integrity of the SBA system arise as a inconsistent grading criteria or even favoritism can lead to distrust in the assessment, which is these issues collectively highlights the need for better training, maybe more resources, and maybe even a stronger institutional support to ensure the successful SBA implementation. So, in conclusion, the successful of the implementation of SBA in language specifically faces significant challenges and also obstacles. And these obstacles not only affect the consistency and effectiveness of the assessment, but also diminish teacher confidence and also student trust in the process. So, to overcome these such challenges, there is a critical need for stronger institutional support for even more professional development opportunities and literally better access to resources to ensure that SBA is implemented effectively and equitably. Okay, that is all for me. I will pass it down to my colleague.
Okay, next is comparing standard-based assessment or SBA and traditional language assessment methods. Okay, what is SBA? SBA is an approach where students are assessed based on specific standards of learning outcomes. It measures whether students have mastered particular language skills, like being able to write an essay or engage in a conversation. The goal is to see if they've met these criteria rather than comparing them to their peers. Okay, what is traditional language assessment? Traditional language assessment are often uses standardized tests to rank students. These tests might include multiple choice question, short answer, or fill in the blank exercises. Success here is usually based on a score or grade. Okay, next is what difference of standard-based assessment and traditional language assessment. Okay, first for standard-based assessment or SBA, first is focus on standard. SBA focus on standard. There is aligned assessment with specific learning standard or outcomes, and emphasizes mastery of content and skills. Next is formative and summative. Incorporates both formative assessment, ongoing feedback, and summative assessment, final evaluations. Okay, for the third is performance based. SBA often includes real world tasks that require application of language skills in context, and may involve projects, presentation, or portfolios. Okay, for the last is individualized. SBA focuses on individual growth and learning for objective for learning for trajectories, and provides opportunities for personalized feedback. SBA focus on whether a student can use the language effectively in real life situation, while traditional assessment is more about how much they know or how well they perform relative to others. Okay, next for traditional language assessment method, first standardized testing. Okay, often relies on fixed formats such as multiple choice or fill in the blanks question. May not directly align with the classroom instruction or individual student needs. Second is summative focus. Traditional language assessment more primarily assesses learning at the end of a unit or course, and less emphasizes on ongoing feedback during the learning process. Traditional assessment typically use standardized tests. These tests usually focus on isolated skills like grammar, vocabulary. For example, student might be asked to fill in the blanks with the correct answer, verb forms, or choose the right answer in multiple choice question. Okay, for the third is content centric. Traditional language assessment tends to prioritize grammatical accuracy and vocabulary over communicative competence, and often emphasizes rote memorization of language rules. And for the last is group-based. Traditional language assessment results are typically aggregated on focusing overall class performance rather than individual progress, and may lead to one-size-fits-all approach.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Amin Irfan bin Suramin. My matric number is 22BE01028. Okay, first of all, I want to thanks to my friend AFIQ RAHMANI for the explanation. Okay, for my topic is assessing speaking and listening skills in language. Okay, for the introduction is assessing speaking and listening skill is requires a structured approach that evaluates both comprehension and oral communication abilities in Malaysia. Okay, these skills are evaluated continuously in a classroom setting, focusing on the student's ability to perform tasks related to their real life communication. Okay, below I have a few points that how speaking and listening skills are typically assessed. Okay, so let's go to the point. Okay, for the first point is listening skill assessment. Okay, the goal is to check how well student can understand spoken language in different situation. Okay, for the first point in understand main details. Student listen to spoken text like dialogues, announcement or instruction. Then they identify the key points on the important details. Okay, for the second is follow direction. Student might listen to instruction and then do something based on what they heard, like drawing a picture or marking a location on a map. Okay, for the third is infer meaning. Beyond just hearing words, student needs to figure out the meaning, tones, or intention behind what says. For example, they may listen to a conversation and answer questions about what they say. Okay, for the last point is respond to different types of speech. Students listen to various types of speech such as interview, lectures, or conversation to test their ability to understand different kinds of listening materials. Okay, for the sample listening task is a teacher plays a recording in class such as news, dialogues, or interviews, and then the student answer a multiple choice or summarize what they understand from the video. Okay. Okay, for the second point is speaking skills assessment. The SBA evaluates students' ability to express themselves orally, focusing on fluency, pronunciation, coherence, and interaction in real-life scenarios. Speaking tasks include first is role plays. Students are often placed in real-life situation where they need to act out a conversation. For example, they may role play a scenario where they need to ask for direction, make a purchase, or discuss a topic. Okay, second point is presentation. Student might be required to prepare and deliver short presentation on a familiar topic. Okay, for the third point is conversation and discussion. In a group or pair activity, students engage in conversation where they share ideas, opinions, or solve problem. For the last point is descriptive task. Another common assessment involves asking student in describe image, object or scenes. This assess their ability to use appropriate vocabulary, structure their description logically, and maintain fluency. Okay, for the sample speaking task is in one scenario, student may be shown a picture and asked to describe what is happening, followed by answering question about the people in action in the image. This task assess their use of descriptive language and clarify of speech. Okay, for the last point is assessment criteria. A typical rubric for assessing speaking might focus on the following criteria. Okay, first is fluency, the ability to speak smoothly without excessive pauses or hesitation. Second is pronunciation and intonation, correct pronunciation of words and the use of natural intonation. The third is vocabulary and grammar, range and accuracy of words used as well grammatical correctness. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
All right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Radin Haziq bin Radin Suhaimi. My number metric is 23BE01096. All right. So for my part, I will be presenting about ensuring fairness and reliability in language assessment under BSA. So the main indicator for for this particular assessment is about the quality. So the way that we can put it out is the quality of the assessment that can be provided regarding this particular language assessment. One of it is validity, reliability, feasibility, and of course the fairness. So in order to achieve this particular indicators, this 4 aspect of Q&A, which is the quality assessment, are moderating, monitoring, tracking, and mentoring should be implemented in this case. So let me just start it out with moderating. Yes, let me start with moderating. There are 2 types of moderation. One of it is the external and the internal moderation. Now, in general, external moderation is a set of processes to ensure that all the evidence or students' assignments assist by teachers across the state are following common standards. And for internal moderation, as the name suggests, it's a process conducted by the nominated teachers in school to make decisions on internally moderated assessment. Now, let's move on to monitoring. So monitoring, okay. So generally, monitoring is a process of looking at the implementation of the whole course of the study. Now, in Malaysia, the monitoring is one of the process to ensure that the implementation follows the procedure, and it also be conducted throughout the implementation range of the time following schedule. So the main aims in this monitoring process are as follows, which is that I managed to find based on the article that I researched. They have 5, but I think I will only share a couple of it. The first one is to make sure the instruction of the SBA implementation is adhered to. The determined challenge faced by the school teachers, to solve problem faced by the teachers. Tracking. So tracking is a process that focus on evaluated the suitability, strengths, weakness. So before tracking process is conducted, the officers set date and time in place to conduct training. Will then, as a part of the process, discuss any feasibility issues and susceptibility of the assessment instruments being used. So next is the mentoring process. So in this process, it's about assisting, guiding, and improving knowledge and understanding in implementing the following procedures and guidelines. This internal and external mentors conduct scheduled mentoring in a meeting or during professional development session, or it could be any informal program before, during, or after the implementation that's being conducted. So that's it for me. Thank you, and we'll move on to the next presenter.
Conclusion: School-based assessment (SBA) in KSSM represents a shift from traditional exam-focused evaluation to a more comprehensive and continuous approach. It not only measures students' academic progress but also emphasizes important skills such as critical thinking, problem solving, and communication. By incorporating ongoing assessments, both formative and summative SBA ensures a more balanced, fair, and student-centered learning experience. Although challenges exist, particularly in language assessments, the flexibility and depth of SBA offer a more meaningful way to support students' overall growth. Thank you for watching, and I hope this has provided valuable insight into the role of SBA in KSSM. Thank you very much.